parents and students. I just thought I'd come on here and just give you a brief overview of my very short overview, I guess, of my what I want to say to you anyway about the $10,000 to $20,000 loan forgiveness, which we don't have enough details. I read it over on the website, and it just doesn't seem like there's enough detail for me to answer the questions I'm getting, but I will know more about it today, I suspect. Here's what I want to say really quick. Those of you who have loans and you've not consolidated your loans, this is the moment I was worried about. You're going to have to get that done first. And right now, the federal website is jammed. But at some point, you've got to consolidate your loans. If you're listening to this on your video channel, on my video channel, which is where you're seeing this, there is a video recently done on how to consolidate your loans. So that's number one. Number two, because I feel like if it's not consolidated, you take the $10,000 off, you're going to lose money in that exchange. You're not going to get as much pop for your money. You need to get them consolidated and then take the 10 or the 20 off. Now, I've gotten questions already about what about students that are in school now or going in this fall and they have loans. I don't know. Don't know. It seems like we'll be right back here again. Remember, all loans are not being forgiven. It's just, I guess, it's unclear, but loans in the past. That brings me to number three. Those of you who are graduate students get loan forgiveness too. And some of you are making good salaries. So there is a maximum salary of $125,000 that you can you can make before you can't take it. In other words, you have to be making less than 125 if you're a couple, then it's 250 for the two of you. So take a look at that. But it does apply to master's degrees. Now, some of you say, well, my master's loan is 150 to 200,000. That, so you can see that's not really going to help much. In fact, I think about only 1/5 of all the loans were actually forgiven. Getting back to people who are starting school in the fall, undergrads, I don't know what this new Biden-Harris forgiveness of loans will do. I don't know. I'm going to have a separate video on the politics of it. That'll probably be my third video. The second video I do will get more into things I find out. Let's see. Parents are asking me about parent loans. I don't see that that's covered by this. I don't see that parent loans are covered, which is why I was surprised that graduate students are covered, because it's called a direct plus. But that may be just a naming thing, But I do not believe that parent loans are covered. Let's see what other. I got another question. Some people are asking, why don't I just take out all those loans, wait 10 years, and it'll be forgiven? Again, it looks like that's true. The problem is that only 10,000 will be forgiven, maybe up to 20. And when the interest starts to build up on your loan, it's going to be way more. I assume at some point interest will come back, although you saw it was suspended through the end of the year. Again, I'm not going to cover the politics of this, but there is obvious a political side to all this. That's okay. Finally, I'm getting the question, will it, is this real? Will it be declared illegal? Most legal constitutional scholars agree that this is not constitutional and it's not legal. I mean, just last session, the Supreme Court ruled that the EPA could not make policy for the executive branch. And I think that's what's happening here too. Now, the politics of that, I'll get into later, whether somebody would want to bring it up before the election. I don't think any of that will come up before the election. I think they'll have that as a achievement. But then I think there are going to be legal challenges. I've heard on TV this morning about banks. Some of the banks are unhappy about it, and it's going to affect their interest rates that they charge people. And I've heard from some college people that are not totally with this. This is bringing attention to the extremely high cost of college. So I'm hearing Then I'm hearing the legal scholars that say that it's not constitutional. I heard the last point that the director of education for the Biden-Harris administration say in an interview that there's something on page 640 of the HEROES Act. I went and checked it. It's not about loan forgiveness. Let's see how I can explain this. It's more about being able to give additional COVID relief to students that need it. They remember we're still in a COVID emergency, which is why they're keeping that emergency on. They can do this stuff. But we clearly don't have an emergency right now. But yeah, we're still making, and that's where I think there's going to be some question about the constitutionality of even using page 640 of the HEROES Act, which does not apply to loans. It applies to COVID relief. Like if a student can show they have a COVID relief issue, they might be able to get some of their loans forgiven that way. But this stuff, this first part was just a blanket forgiveness. I guess it means anybody who has a loan now, I guess. And then what happens to next year's people? They don't get it, right? That's the part I don't understand too much. Let's see. Somebody asked me too, what about me? I paid off my loans. There's nothing in this about people who paid off their loans. You might remember that I thought there should be a tax credit for people like that. You might remember when I talked about conditional forgiveness of loans. Some of you know I talked about that. But this is not really conditional forgiveness. Not really. It's just a blanket forgiveness. All right. I hope that helps. I'll come back with more when I have specifics. Maybe I'll put a slideshow together. But then I do want to discuss the politics of this. For my students, I'll be posting on holythinkers.edu. And I guess I'll post it on the education site too. But it's really a holythinkers.edu issue for my college students and former college students. Thank you much. God bless you. Bye-bye now.